Hello, welcome to part two of this week's Goals Eye View. It's FA Cup fever tonight. So we've asked a question. We'll go straight out with this one. What is your first TUFC FA Cup memory, and what is your best TUFC FA Cup memory? Do you two want to do yours first? Mine?
Chris, can you remember your first game yet? Or
Do you know, I'm struggling.
you were deliberating, weren't you?
Yeah, I can't. I can't. Nothing kind of sticks in my mind as something that I kind of specifically remember. I mean, I'd probably say the best FA Cup. The game I always remember was when we played Birmingham in the FA Cup when we played them at home, and and I was, what was that? 2006.
2006, I think that was. Wasn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always remember looking at some of these Premier League players, and you realise quite how much bigger they are. Emil Heskey was playing in that game, wasn't he? And some of the players that were just, so they were much bigger. And I remember Woodsy hitting the post, and we'd kind of maintained, we'd held them well, and then and we got a replay. But I always remember the atmosphere, in that game, and then kind of in more kind of recent memories, we've not had any big games. Obviously, the one everyone remembers is the Crawley game when obviously we could have had Man United with the missed, with the missed penalties and the red cards and that, and obviously then the Crawley game again, a 2 years ago, which was just mental. But yeah, I guess for a Torquay fan, really, there's not been a great deal, has there? The last 20 years of any great,
isn't it? Sparse.
Yeah, success really, not so much.
My first memory, I think, must be the West Ham game, 1990. Yes, I am old enough to remember that. I'm surprising you there, aren't I, Sam? Sam?
Yeah, didn't say anything. Didn't say anything. Wasn't going to say anything.
Which was absolutely awful conditions. It was a bit like today. The weather was sheeting down. It was muddy pitch. I think they were League Two. They were Division Two at the time. But obviously, being West Ham, it was great to beat them. Paul Hiron scored the goal. He was a YTS guy. I think he barely ever played for us then. I don't think he ever scored for us again. But he scored the winner about 10 minutes from time. Poked it in the corner, and I remember running on the pitch afterwards, as you did those days, getting some autographs and that. So yeah, sort of thing we remember, isn't it?
I didn't. I wasn't born.
Did you used to run the pitch after games, Chris? Do you remember that far back?
I'm not as old as you, Dom. So
oh my goodness.
No, I don't. No, I mean, Barnet away is the kind of running on the pitch that I remember as much as anything. But not
hugely. I suppose going back to the early 90s.
That was my first or second birthday, Barnet away. I mean, there's literally videos of my family not really caring about my birthday. I calling me on the TV. I've got to dig it out. It's absolutely brilliant.
Best memory, I think, is the Yeovil game from 2000.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That game,
that was a hell of a match.
That really game was my first real and my main one. Obviously, I didn't actually get into football until about 7 or 8. So that's about 2007. I remember very vaguely, if I had to go to my first, I think it was like the 06-07 disaster season when I got into football. I just remember my dad listening to that. Was it the Leatherhead replay or something we played and struggled through? So that was certainly been my first FA Cup memory. But the best and first real one was that Yeovil game, just 1-0 down. They were League One in those days, weren't they?
They were, yeah. They were doing well as well.
Manager.
Yep. Who was managing for that game?
Russell Slade.
That's
and we played well, but we went 1-0 down, but to come back and win 4-1, just absolutely unbelievable.
One of your favourite players, Danny Stevens.
I was waiting for that.
2 goals each, wasn't it? 2 goals each.
I was just trying to think who scored 2 goals each. I remember
Chris Todd got the other 2.
Chris Todd was the other 2, yeah.
One of my favourite ever players, Danny
tomorrow.
Stevens. Yeah,
I've got that ready to put online. I'll be putting the highlights that game out. So, I found a full match of it, and I've just been listening.
That's a fantastic game, a fantastic atmosphere. It was on BBC.
Incredible team, BBC.
Yeah,
I think Lee Roy was doing the commentating on the side,
and Mark Lawrenson,
yeah. Maybe it's an omen. Big game, 2 leagues above us on the telly.
League One, mate. That's gonna be my capture when I load it tomorrow. This last time we played League One opposition in the FA Cup first round on TV. So incredible. And I was thinking about that season today actually, because I was thinking about the Aldershot game that season and the keeper Anderson, who's gone on to have a good career, but my God, he had an awful time with us. And I think that 07-08 team really sort of was talking amazing time, because I know we went up in 08-09. But I always said more attached to 07-08 team. I do feel like we were more excited when we were better. It's just if we'd had the keepers that we had the next season, Bevan and Poke, I know we had Poke for like 4 games that season, 07-08, where we didn't concede a goal. But if we had had those two keepers that season, we were beating Aldershot.
What I loved about that season is we went for every trophy, didn't we?
Yeah, what
Every
an incredible
trophy, we're
season.
going to go for it. Satana Shield, yeah, all right, we'll try for that.
08-09 was
try to
literally
win
just
every
getting
match.
out of the league, and we did, and that was incredible. But yeah, that
my dad would still maintain. My dad still maintains to this day that we were the best side in the league that year.
Oh, we were. Yeah, it was just the keepers. It was the keepers thing.
We just ran out of steam, didn't we? Towards the end, it was unfortunate. But...
but Buckle had a good mentality there, wasn't it? Buckle's mentality was you win games.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what competition it is. Winning games breeds confidence, which is the best thing you can do. So whoever's in front of us, we'll give the best team. We'll select our best team and try and win it. And I think
we lost to Brighton in the second round that year, didn't we? It was no disgrace at all. Look what they are now. Right, so we're going to your memories. Danny says a draw with Premier League Birmingham was decent. Managed to get a midweek trip to the Prem ground on a school night. My first memory is probably the year before away at Hinckley, grim and embarrassing. Steve says first memory losing 1-0 to Sutton in 93-94. Best drawing 1-1 with Queen's Park Rangers at Loftus Road with a sublime free kick.
Oh, Mick O'Brien.
And Neville Southall playing a blinder in goal. Mark
said, in the free kicks, Pantheon, that is a great free kick. That really is. Up and down, pace. Oh, what a goal that was.
Sounds good. Mark says Sheffield Wednesday 4th round defeat in 83 was his first. It's hard to top 89-90, beating West Ham and then an epic trip to Blackburn 4th round, even though it ended in defeat. That again, that's a joint we've ever got the 4th round.
That was a typical Torquay draw. That was. We got to the 4th round and still only got Blackpool.
It's the first time in I don't know how long that we've had probably the best draw we could get.
Yeah, especially when you think that year when we lost to Crawley, that was the year we beat. Who'd we beat that year? Coventry and Blackpool.
Coventry was round 4, 08-09. We beat Blackpool round 3 and then got Crawley in round 4. That game still haunts me to this day. Incredible as it was getting that far. Alan says first TOC FA Cup memory was the FA Cup first round in 88, 2-0 down at home to Ferrell Town and Felly and coming back to draw 2-2. We ran the replay but got knocked out by Holders Coventry City in the third round, my first away game. Best one was beating West Ham 1-0 at home. Paul Hirons in 1990. Clive says first was getting dumped up by Hillbrandon Borough. And then his granddad wasn't very happy with it. He's done a bit of northern speech, and I'm not even going to try and attempt to say it because I'm going to embarrass myself. He kept taking me anyway. I still love him for that.
Bumped into Clive at Gloucester Services on the M5 last week.
Nice. He kept taking me anyway, and I still love him for that. I exactly agree with that's from me and my dad. He apologises after most games, but I still love the fact he kept taking me because it's the best thing. So it's best. I do bang on it a lot, but Dave Colwell with the late diving header in front of us at Bristol City in 1987. Dave was very happy about that. Nick says beating West Ham in 89-90, I think, and being in a mini stand when Leroy Racine headed it over the bar and he got hit by the ball. And then the best was beat Torquay 3, Birmingham 0 in 91. All of the pop side was given it over to the Birmingham fans, but Paul Hall tore them apart for us. And then so a lot. Thank you all for writing in. That's a lot of reading for me today. Why was so popular? Best memory.
Reading till next week, Sam.
Oh no, yeah. Christopher says best memory maybe Mick O'Brien equalising away at Queen's Park Rangers in the third round to get his replay, and then the hammering of beating the Ovals we've mentioned. He says first one was the 1-1 at Kidderminster the year after a denied promotion to the Football League. Lee Hughes up front equalised on a bog of a pitch. Featured again on Match Day later. Off the line blog. First was losing to Crawley at home. Yeah. 2 Bevan saves. That Tubbs goal right in front of me. I remember it. The Zabrowski red card. And yeah, Paul Rayner. No. Best Warsaw at home. I forget that one. That was in the... Yeah. Was that the second run, wasn't it? Yeah, that same run. When key penalty. One of my favourites as well was beating Carlisle. Was that the third round of that run?
Yeah, when Union O'Kane scored.
Yeah, when Tom Cruise slipped. Yeah, Tom Cruise for Carlisle slipped, and then that was a brilliant day.
I was in Australia following that in the middle of the night.
Yeah, one of the longest games of football I've ever been to. That one. Couple more. Pete says first game was losing and round 2 at home to Colchester in '64. My first girls game. My much missed dad took me when I was a boy. We couldn't get tickets for the incredible home game to Spurs in round 3. It's a shame. Also on that topic, actually, my granddad, I remember he always used to tell me he saw his record attendance when we played Huddersfield. Can't remember what year. 23,000. Yeah, he was there. 23,000. He saw that game, and Huddersfield were like the best team in England at that point, I believe. Best memory, January 1990, we beat West Ham 1-0. That's a very popular one. West Ham fans were very upset. And then Tibbs says first ever game was Torquay 1, Farnborough 1 in the FA Cup in 91. They scored their first, as I recall, and we scored later on, missed the second goal. And yeah, thank you all. So
I remember the first time we were on Sky Sports, I think it was a cup match. I think we lost 4-3 to somebody. Yeah, I think away from home or something like that. Always the entertainers, lads. Always the entertainers.
Just think there'll be somebody in 15, 16 years' time saying, I remember that day when we played Derby in the FA Cup on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Laura Woods was there and we won 2-0.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be...
And then they knocked out Liverpool in the League Cup.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
All right.
I enjoyed the Coventry game, actually. What year was that? That was a great game.
08-09. I was there.
Really
absolutely battered them.
Hammered them all game, didn't we? Kevin Nicholson must have put about 100 crosses in. We just could not.
We were so good that game.
Funny things you remember, we defended really well and then let Elliot Ward just run in on his own from a corner with 5 minutes to go.
Unbelievable. We and like, I remember we hadn't missed an open goal. Their keeper, Kieran Westwood, a young keeper in those days, did great.
Yeah, really young,
Nicholson had one off the line as well. He cleared one off the line early on. Yeah, I remember that game. That was probably only like the third or fourth Torquay game I went to.
We were so difficult to play in those days, weren't we?
Yeah.
We were so tough and pushed up, and especially at home. Once we get the wind in ourselves, we were tough to stop. It was a good time. Good time.
Yeah, no, incredible time. But yeah, no, I think that's. I mean, recently it's been awful. That 6-5 against Crawley.
We weren't even there. That's the trouble. No. If we'd have been there, you sort of remember it a bit more.
And we had that game in control. I'm going to sound horrendous. I'm going to sound horrendous, right? That goalkeeper I'm glad he's made a good recovery, but it was a penalty, and we were 2-0 up. If that hadn't have happened, I think we'd have won that game. But it was a penalty.
He was down for 10 minutes.
And our cameraman decided it was a great idea to zoom in on him. And I was like, we don't know if he's okay here, but it still was a penalty. He gave away a foul. But it's fine. That game was ridiculous. Covenant had a dreadful game. So weak in that game.
Yeah.
But the football we play was unbelievable.
It was a hell of a match.
Yeah.
It was on the red button, was it?
Red button.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
The main was brilliant that day as well. But apart from that, we played Woking. They had a penalty when we were in the south. Was that in the south? They beat us 1-0.
Yeah, we got 1-0.
Went give it that's what started the Ben Gowan stuff really. That game.
Yeah. Kretschmar scored, didn't he? That was a dive as well, that game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Last season was the Joe Ostler, Scott Rendell show, wasn't it?
There's been nothing worth noting since, honestly, since the Buckle days.
What do we think for Sunday then? Winnable?
You never know, really, football, do you? I definitely think, if that team we had last night, which it won't be because I don't think the silver will be there unless we extend it. If we have that team, then, mad thing happened. Didn't Derby lose the other night last night, or they didn't play very well?
Speaking to my Derby supporting mate, he doesn't seem to think they have a very big squad. They're playing quite a lot of games.
Liverpool 4 days later.
They've got the Liverpool game coming up a few days later, so you do wonder if we got a little chance.
I'm like, they can always be an upset. I was looked at my phone and it's 105 Celtic 0. Never mind. But I think so. If we come off that Notts County game, I said no. But the fact last night that we played like a team and we could do something there. Boggy pitch. You can never rule it out, can you?
Get the crowd going, a bit
incredible if we get a replay because we get a 50-50 gate at Pride Park.
Yeah, I think as well. We've also just got to play the role right.
Yeah,
we're the minnows. We should get beaten. I mean, Mark Ellis said, didn't he, on the website after the game last night? He described it as a free hit. But it's a free hit, isn't it?
Have fun. Torquay fans will have fun.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
If you lose,
a
people
team
think
like
you're going to lose.
Derby at Torquay again for a lot of years. So just enjoy it. Have a good day.
Again, we got the experienced guys out there. Again, that will help because if you had all the youngsters again, they'd freeze, wouldn't they, in front of the camera?
It could have been embarrassing if we had that sort of team. It could be like 7 or 8-0 or something like that. So.
Yeah, and of course, it also depends on the team that Derby select because obviously they have got that Liverpool game, which they might think is bigger. Will they play some younger players? Maybe I don't know, but
they're caught in a big transition at the moment as a club, aren't they? Obviously, they've been saves. Yeah, they've really bit weirdly from outside. We've got with Liam Rosenior, got Paul Warren, who's done brilliant at Rotherham, and it's not quite working yet, but They want to get new players, and they've got a very old team. Like they basically just signed a team that was good in the Championship 5 years ago. So
strikes you as the sort of squad that kind of needs a couple of transfer windows almost, doesn't it, to kind of
of
kind of evolve.
And they've got an amazing academy. Like their academy's kept them going. I don't know how many. I think they've sold on a few, but it'd be interesting to see what sort of team.
It's amazing what one game can do. And 2 or 3 games ago, we were thinking, "Oh God, keep the score down," that sort of thing. Now we're thinking, "Oh, hello."
And again, but it's like a lot of these things, and if we can get into the game early, maybe score first, that kind of, that can kind of, and if they have got some youngsters in the team, it'll be a pretty good atmosphere. I don't know what the ticket sales are like, but hopefully you'd hope for 4,000 minimum, wouldn't you? Because they'll bring 1,600, you would hope. So
it'd be nice to see the away end open. I hate having Aldershot had a fair few numbers. I know what to do. It saves money.
Yeah, 150 there. That's incredible.
But I wish they would have been in. Yeah, brilliant. Aldershot and Torquay always just have these weird things, haven't they? So many things. We always seem to go in parallel with each other.
We've been playing them so long now.
Yeah, but I like seeing this in the away end. It's something about it. Even when they're going like full on because we've conceded again, it's just like it's something to look at. I prefer having an away end that can move. Just adds to the excitement of the game, really. So it'd be nice to see that again.
Yeah.
What do you think? What's the prediction then? Do you think
3-1 Derby? That's positive for me.
I hadn't thought about this. 2-2.
You must have said 2-2 for about half of the games this season.
No, because I said at half time last night. My prediction last night was on. I went 3-2 last night. So we were 3-0 at half time. It was still on. I didn't want it to be particularly, but yeah. No, I mean, again, but it's like anything. If we turn out and play like we did last night potentially against a young side, we in with a shout, aren't we? But but I mean, equally, you could get beat 3 or 4-0, or you could, be in with a real shout. So I think, I'm feeling positive today. So 2-2.
It's if we got the legs as well, isn't it? Because you're going to have the same line probably, but we haven't got much to change up on the bench, have we? So last 20 minutes we might be getting a bit tired.
No,
but depends what the score line's looking at that point. But I'll say 3-2 to Derby. A good match.
And you can only win one game. I'm giving you a choice. You've got 1 win, 1 defeat from the next 2 games. Which one are you winning?
Oh, see, you've got to go Derby, don't you? Because financially.
What's more important, winning the FA Cup or getting off the bottom of the league?
Absolutely delighted if we lose to, well, not lose to Derby, but you know what I mean. I'll be absolutely delighted if we beat Dorking, because life's
too short to want to beat Dorking more than you want to beat Derby.
I watched
bread and butter, Dom. Right? Bread and butter.
I will be more starstruck by Dorking and Mark White than I will be Derby County, because I absolutely love that series. But we'll leave that for next week. But it's my aim to try and get on that bunch of amateurs somehow. But we'll work it in. But yeah, we'll talk about that. There you go,
Dom. Sam and I can explain our goals in life. Yours is to get on that. Mine's to get a selfie with Laura Woods on Sunday, so we can.
Mine's to get a selfie with Mark White. Mark White any day. What a bloke.
I prefer a cuddle with Mark Ellis.
Let's make sure we tag Mark in this when you send it out, Sam. We'll see if we can get it arranged.
Achievable goals.
I've got it all planned.
It's probably more realistic than my aim, isn't it? Although one of our members absolutely did me when I mentioned it last night, didn't I? To then produce a picture of him with Laura Woods. But hey, you never know, dear.
How long? I won't be watching the coverage. How long before ITV say something about Faulty Towers? Like they can't.
It be in the warm up bit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you can't do a Torquay special on the TV and not talk about Faulty Towers. So that's my only thing I'll put in. But no, enjoy the day, Yellow Army, and people that aren't Torquay fans. Come on, Fairweather fans, get out. Come on, get them out. No, come and support.
Let's have a proper atmosphere, proper cup tie. That's what we want. So,
I'm from Leicester, as you know, and I don't like Derby, so it's even better for me. I can't wait. So yeah, anything else?
Just get down there, support the lads, and I hope.
Not really.
I think if we can
just the boys,
enjoy it. Just enjoy it. I think is what I'm saying, because it's very rare you go to a game. Well, I went to a game on Saturday with next to no hope. Then we had an amazing game last night. It's very rare you go to a game without the hope of trying to win it.
Yeah.
Because I think Sunday I'll be going with the anticipation that probably the percentages say we'll get beaten, but with that little bit of excitement in your stomach that says, but look at Wrexham against Arsenal. Look at Sutton against whoever it was.
It's nice to think the country
Hereford
nice for a bit.
Yeah, everyone I work with who I've bored with it to make sure they're watching ITV1 at 3 o'clock on Sunday.
Yeah.
They'll all be watching. And so, you know, they've got to do me proud.
Hopefully you get 2 o'clock. I'm certainly going to watch the second half.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for watching. Please thanks for all your support, and we'll see you next week.